Welcome to this morning Dragon Qigong routine for longevity. The dragon in Qigong is a metaphor for the spine. And the spine, being made of so many joints, is very important to articulate in all directions to help us stay supple and youthful throughout life, especially after sleeping in a stationary position. So let's begin with twisting the spine with knocking on the door of life. Start to turn from your hips and waist. Let your hands knock across your lower back and slap across your belly and waist. Feel the power being generated by the feet and hips and the arms and shoulders, just relaxing to allow the movement up through the upper body. Here we knock at the lower back on the muscles next to the spine to wake up the region we call the door of life. Let's do it next with a wide stance, feet quite a bit wider than shoulders, and shifting our weight now from side to side. Always shifting to the side of the hand that's going behind you. Continue to wring out the spine gently, getting some movement into the body to improve circulation after a static night's rest. Keep our stance nice and low, and start to knock now with the front hand at the lung gates, knocking just below the collarbone near the shoulder pit. Just waking up the lungs. And in Chinese medicine, these points also helping the immune system. Come back to the center and squeeze your palms together, sinking into the horse stance. Feet a little wider than the knees. Sinking down about halfway. Building some heat and strength in the legs, and then shifting our weight to the left leg, pushing the palms to the left and turning the head to the right. Then shift your way over to the right. Press the palms to the right and turn the head to the left, bringing out the neck. Shift center and left, looking right, center and right, looking left. So each time we shift the weight, we're going to press the palms and look in the opposite direction of the hands. Here we try to keep the fingertips pointed up as we straighten the arm that's crossing the chest as much as we can. This helps to turn the chest and shoulders the opposite direction of the head. Helps us to wring out our neck. And the weight shift just helping us to strengthen the legs and again build some heat in the body and circulate some blood. Get our vital energies moving. We're going to start to go a little quicker just to increase that flow, that vigor. Breathing deeply through the nose as we move. Qigong, we say that your energy should be like a flowing, clear mountain river and not like a stagnant swamp. So movement is the foundation of Qigong to help clear that stagnation. Here, start to tilt your head left and right, and then follow the head with the rest of your spine. The neck following the head, the rib cage following the neck, the lower spine following the ribs, and finally the tailbone following the lower spine. This is called the swimming dragon. Feel yourself moving, a serpent-like motion. And then raising the hands over the head, now leading with the tips of the fingers as well as the crown of the head. And opening up the body along the sides of the spine as well as more now into the sides of the rib cage and waist. Come to the center. Hands come down. And we're going to turn our toes forward, feet parallel, and just fold forward for a gentle stretch. Let's hold here for a few breaths as we let the back of the body open up and some blood flow down to the head. As we sleep, our cerebrospinal fluid is washing out all our brain cells, washing all the waste products and toxins out of the brain. So when we wake up, it's important to help that fluid to drain, to pull those toxins and wastes out of the head. We're going to come back up for an exercise called Move the Body Like a River. Here we're shifting the weight left and right. And our spine's going to move opposite to the swimming dragon here as we shift to the side. Let your shoulder fall. Shoulder falls, then head falls. Shift the hips, drop the shoulder, drop the head. Shift the hips right, drop right shoulder, drop right ear. Left, shoulder, ear. So here the hips are going first as we shift the weight in the legs. Then the chest follows, falling over. Then the head follows, falling over. Once again, feel the movement come from the legs. If you want more challenge, you can have your spine more parallel to the floor. But feel the same movement now. This wave moving through the spine, totally opposite wave to the swimming dragon, where we led with the head and followed with the tail. Now we lead with the tail and follow with the head. Taking that into a little stretch here for the side body, we're just going to flow from one side to the other. Have your hand or elbow on the thigh and reach your other hand long away from the foot. So as you shift to the left here, reach with your right hand away from the right foot. As you shift right, reach with your left hand away from the left foot. Just looking to stretch and lengthen the tissues along the side body here. You can inhale as you stretch and exhale through the center. Step back in, shake it out. For this next one, we're going to bring our feet together. And here's another variation of the swimming dragon. Palms are together. We're going to bend our knees. And we're going to start to shift our hips left and right, keeping the knees bent. And then the hands press away from the hips. As the hips go left, the hands press right. Hips go right, hands press left. Then the head turns away from the hands, turning the same direction that the hips are shifting. Once again, we try to keep the fingers pointed straight up in this prayer-like position, while pushing the arm as far as we can, the one that's crossing the chest. Press it like you're trying to even straighten the elbow, but still keeping those fingers up. And once again, this is going to rotate our chest the opposite direction of the head, as well as pulling the rib cage off the opposite direction of the hips. So now loosening the neck and the lower spine. Good. Come to the center. Once again, our dragon's going to swim. Again, the dragon is your spine. You're going to lead with the top of the head and let the rest of the spine follow along behind, one vertebra at a time, like a string of pearls following along. Feel that wave go all the way down to the tailbone. Crown of the head leading, tailbone following, loosening the sides of the spine and building this proprioceptive ability to feel where each vertebra is in space, helping us with our posture, bodily awareness, coordination, and once again the flow of energy and fluid through the spine. Again, bringing the hands overhead, moving the stretch a little more broad to the waist and rib cage, and then reaching tall. We'll dive forward for another stretch, letting the back of the body lengthen. Feel free to stay high or fold a little lower. Just feel what your hamstrings and back are asking for, and don't push into any pain in this or any other exercise. Always feel free to skip or modify any of these exercises to your body's unique needs. Let's slowly tuck the tail and roll our way up. Step out and shake out. Next one is called Dragon Looks at Its Tail. We're going to turn the palms away to the left and turn the head to the right. Then look at the hands as they come in, and then press them away as we turn the head to the right. Inhale as we look at the left palm, and then exhale, press through the left palm specifically. We're looking for a stretch going from the left hand up the left forearm into the shoulder and into the neck. The right hand here coordinating with the motion, but not necessarily looking for a stretch the same way. Then we'll hold the stretch and bring the hands down about 45 degrees. Keep pressing and turning. Then release. Come to the other side, looking at the right palm. Turn the hands away, press. Turn the head away. Inhale, look at the right hand. Exhale, press and turn the head to the left as though you're trying to get the chin over the shoulder. Try to keep the head here stacked over the hips. So notice I'm not leaning away from the hands, but just turning the head. Nice one to increase the range of motion for the twist of the neck and turn of the head, as well as freeing up the flow of blood and energy through the arms. Let's hold the stretch now. Once again, we'll bring the hands to 45 degrees downwards. Continue turning the head over the shoulder. Take a deep breath. And release. Shake it out. Hands on the hips or the front of the thighs. This next one is called the wave. We're going to push the hips forward and lean the chest back, and send the hips back and lean the chest forward. Hips forward, chest back, then lift your chin, send the hips back, and then drop the chin at the bottom. Tuck the tailbone, push the hips forward, keep the chin tucked, and then lift it at the top. Coming down with the chin lifted, and drop it at the bottom. You might want to watch me a few times on your first few times doing this, because it's hard to see me when your head is down. Once you get it, it should look like this wave-like motion that seems to come up the legs, the hips, the spine, and the neck. Next we'll add the arms. So here the wave really resembles a wave, curling and crashing. We round the arms as we come forward, and then open broadly the chest as we roll up. You can inhale as you come up, exhale as you come down. And then we'll settle. We're going to find the wave the opposite direction. Send your hips forward and tuck your chin to your chest. Then dive down with the crown of your head as your hips go back. Then look up, coming up with an arched back, pushing the hips forward. Drop the chin to the chest. Roll down, leading with the crown of your head. Bend the knees, send your hips back, then look up, and lead up with the crown of your head, sending the hips forward. Once again, it can really help to watch a few times. But essentially here, the wave is traveling the opposite direction now. The wave is going from the head, down through the neck, the spine, down to the hips and legs. This time we can add a motion called the waterfall. Fitting for this location, of course. We're going to scoop forward as we roll our way up, and then turn the back of the hands towards each other and pour down the front of the body like we're gathering mist and turning it to water, pouring it down the front of the body like a waterfall. Again, exhales can bring you down, and inhales can take you back up. Once more, we'll settle and relax. Let's get one more nice stretch for the neck. Here, placing the palms together behind the back with the fingers pointed down. Roll your shoulders back and reach up through your crown. Stay nice and tall for this one. Slowly, we're going to circle the head in a big, slow circle, making an effort not to let the head fall too far back as we go over the shoulders and back. Continue to reach upwards and outwards through the crown of your head as you do this, activating what we call dynamic unifying opposition to protect the joints of the spine and help increase the stretch. Try going the other direction. You can always exhale as you roll down towards the chest and inhale as you roll back up. Move slow and deliberate, still reaching up and out through the crown to lengthen the neck and spine, protect the spinal discs. And take it easy on this one, especially if you feel any pinching in the spine. Let's shake it out and release. We'll begin to shake the whole body from the ankle joint upwards, bouncing using the power of the feet, and then generally relaxing the rest of the body. You can inhale through the nose and let your exhales out the mouth like a long sigh. And feel free to continue moving our spine. You can start to add a gentle twist here. Our spine moves in 3 basic directions. A twist, and now here a side to side. Let yourself sway left and right, shifting the weight, again letting the motion come up from the feet. Our spine twists, our spine moves left and right, and the spine moves forward and backwards. Start to let that wave move through you like we were doing before, just a little smaller, sending the hips forward and backwards, letting the spine relax into that swaying motion. 3 motions of the spine, making sure we open all the joints in their full range of motion. Come to the center, notice how you feel. Notice the blood and energy awake and alive in the body. Then check that your feet are shoulder width apart. Start to draw your hands upwards along the sides of the body with the space between the index finger, the first finger, and the thumb nice and open. We draw that space, we call the tiger's mouth, along the sides of the body, the hips, waist, and ribs. Then send the hands forward and down. In and up, we inhale the hands. Exhale forward and down. Breathing all through the nose now. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. And notice here, I'm moving the spine in a wave. Hips forward, hips back. Hips forward, weight in the toes, and hips back. Come to a standing position. Notice how you feel again. This next one, we're going to move the opposite direction, drawing the hands in and pushing down. Floating up, we inhale. Exhale, press down, still making that tiger's mouth position in the hands. Exhale, the hips sink back. Inhale, the hips press forward. A wave comes up the spine. Let your spine be relaxed and fluid, moving more effortlessly now. Less to expand the range of motion and more to allow the subtle flow of energy and fluid. Breathing through the nose to calm the nervous system and energize the body with this vital force we call Qi. Come to the center, pause, and notice how you feel. This next one we call Upholding the Moon. We're going to cross the centers of the palms, bring them in front of the chest, turn them away from us, and then towards the sky as we press directly overhead. The hands go out to the sides with the fingers flexed towards you, and the fingers point down, come down, and we cross the centers of the palms again. Next, we're going to add a forward fold, bending from the hips and waist, rounding the spine as we come down, crossing centers of the palms, and then rolling up through the spine, spiraling the palms forward and pressing upwards over the crown of the head. When the hands get to shoulder height, we start to fold forward again, rounding the spine, bending the knees and hips. We're going to exhale as we press up and out to the sides. And inhale as we round forward. Continue to inhale as we roll up. Exhale to press up and out. Inhale to round and roll. Exhale. Inhale. Feel some space at the back of your spine here, and then as we roll up, like space is being created at the front of the spine. Each time we repeat the exercise, feel like you've grown a millimeter taller. We make space in the back of the vertebra, back of the spinal discs, and then making space in the front, like our breath itself is inflating the discs. Finally bringing your hands back down to your sides. Feel your tailbone sinking. Feel your crown lifting to the sky. And step your feet in close together with the palms face up, one over the other, beneath your lower dantian. the energy center that sits between your navel and your pelvis. Circle one hand out to the side, by the forehead, and down to the dantian. Circle the other hand, inhaling, and exhale as you sink and settle beneath the dantian. Inhale, circle. Exhale, sink and settle. This exercise to close our practice, helping to gather our chi to our center, to our dantian, and restore a reserve of energy, and where we anchor the mind and heart to feel steady and tranquil inside. Fold the hands over that dantian, and with the feet very close together, allow your body to begin to rock and sway like bamboo in the wind, yielding to this internal flow of chi. Relax any unnecessary tension throughout your body to allow that energy to flow unimpeded. Like a mountain stream, the energy flows clean and clear after we've invigorated it with movement and harmonized it with breath. Step your feet back to shoulder width and begin to circle your belly, gathering the energy to the internal organs and specifically into the lower dantian. Just below your navel, spiraling in till the hands settle there, storing your chi. Take an inhale and release with a sigh. Hope you enjoyed that practice. Hope you're feeling both energized and calm and relaxed, ready to take on your day. If you'd like to keep training with me, feel free to subscribe to this YouTube channel where I make videos like this, usually several times a month. And if you're feeling very inspired, you're always welcome to join my teacher training program, which can either help you to take your Qigong practice to the next level, or for those interested, to share it with others. You can find all that at nicklawfrey.com, linked below. Thanks for joining.